Hey, it's Miss Lady T. I can't believe that just happened again. I swear I don't have anything turned on my phone. It's weird. I just put it on video and it's like, okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead and count it down. And then all of a sudden, that camera goes, the video starts counting down. Might be a feature. I don't know. I don't have anything activated that I know of, but that's crazy. I do this every time, and it's just like, okay, whenever you want to, go ahead and start, and it goes on. Anyway, it's 1:15. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Air just kicked on. And I just got the weirdest download, and this may be for the collective, this may be for me, this may be for whoever this resonates with, okay? So, there's a couple things I've been seeing on my Pluto, and when I listen to my music. UTFO has a song out called Split Personality. And in the song, it talks about having 5 people inside of him. You know, it's like 5 people inside of me trying to control my body. I know they're there without a doubt, because every once in a while they one sneak out. You know, something like that. Whatever. So, I got to thinking, okay. And then this movie, I think it's called Five Nights at Freddy, kept popping up on my Pluto too. So 5 is very significant. And I know somebody that just turned 55. So follow me. This might get hairy before you understand it, but I can't believe this. I can't believe this download. I wouldn't believe it. And maybe it's not true. I don't know. I believe it is, because I wouldn't be seeing all these 5s everywhere. And I know 5 is significant or whatever. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You know. So just bear with me. Let's say you were young when you got married. You had your maiden name till you was 17 and you got married. So you had your maiden name and your married name. You married the guy twice, so you stayed the same name for a few years. I'm hearing all kinds of racket. Okay, that's 2 last names, right? You get divorced, marry again. Have a kid. That's 3 last names. So you got your maiden name and 2 married names. Okay, that's 3. You get divorced again. A couple years pass. You get married again. And you're having a different last name. So that's 4 last names. Been married 3 times. First guy you married twice. So you kind of kept that name. So you have your maiden name, married name. And you got 3 names by then, okay? Follow me, okay? I'm not saying these because this is relevant to me. You get divorced from that person. You marry again and have another child. So you have 2 kids, 2 different dads. And now you're on your married name, or your maiden name, and 3 different married names. So that's 4. 4 names you have so far. Okay? In the state of Ohio, you're allowed to get married 5 times before you have to leave the state of Ohio. I'm not proud. I've made all these marriages and shit. Not saying anything about them. You know, takes 2. Like I've said before. And then you run into somebody that they really wanted to marry you bad. So bad they would actually have stuff sent to your house with their last name. Which you never was married to them, but it was like, what are you doing? Why are you putting your last name with my name? And, you know, I get little stuff through the mail, like, you know, stuff for like birthday or something like that. Okay, so they established address, they established a name. You don't know you're married, but they married you, and they're having somebody, you know, run around being you. But it's not you, because you don't even know you're married. You broke it off with this person. They broke it off with you. Mutual separation. So there you go. You have 5 last names. Maiden name. 1, 2, 3 last names. And then another one that an ex, falsely union that you know nothing about, married you and you without you knowing. So you have 5 last names. Different last names. Same social security number. This is why I don't know how they got by with this. And I don't know how they didn't cross all this. Catch this. Okay, write this down. Okay, I'm going to read this off. The first maiden name, 5 different crimes. Okay? And there's no tarot to this. It's just a download I got. So, first one they have you pass on. They're collecting money from that for insurance, whatever. But my dog's itching. I'm onto something. Dog's acting up. She starts getting sensitive when I start hitting bases. The next one, they made you. Oh, my cat just jumped up on my table. The next one is Social Security. So they made you have a disability, maybe your back, maybe you had issues with back or, anything, mental, anything. So they made Social Security. So now they're getting money for somebody that's passed on, which is one name. Second, Social Security fraud. Disability. It's the same person. Okay? Follow me? And this could go either way. They could have everything crossed and one going that's passed on, one that's Social Security, disability or whatever. Another one, they made you crazy. Gave you false POA. Maybe it was your husband, not husband, made him a false POA. So if any money was going to you, any inheritance, any trust fund, any of that shit, they posed you as crazy and you can't handle your own money. So there's another one. They made another one a sex worker. Sorry if, trigger warning. Made you a lady of the night. Let me rephrase that. Hope I don't get whatever, but it's cool. And then there's you, the original, which is me. So what if, and we'll play the what if card, what if they've committed all these crimes under your married names, your maiden name, your current name, they trashed because they want everybody to think you're just a piece of POS. And they're getting money off of every effing thing on here. Plus, you have inheritance in a trust fund that they're probably snaking too. I'm just saying, what if? Not saying, not accusing anybody. Not saying anything for sure. But what? 1:22 on the clock. What if they did this shit? And they have crimes going on. All the same social. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different last names. Think about it. And how many people they had to involve to do all this stuff. And how much income they have to account for these people. Ooh, I'm getting a hot flash. Oh, shit. We'll call it running out of money soap, because they're probably doing more crimes on the side. Don't know. Maybe. And they have to plug in this stuff. Maybe not the passed on person, or maybe not the Social Security one, but the other ones, the ones that, they say you're crazy. Another one they're saying that you're a lady of the night. Another one you're saying you're just, random housewife or not housewife. In their eyes, I guess you are, because you're still married. You're married to your ex that you didn't know you married. And what if they're, plugging in, these fake accounts? And mind you, I did get a bank statement a couple years ago under a name. I've never been at that bank. It was a passed on. And this bank I'd only been in a couple years because it was in the place I worked at the time. But they got their mail crossed one day, and I got some mail that was under a different name, a married name that I hadn't been in 15 years, 16 years, maybe 17 years I hadn't been. I was married to my last husband 14 years. So what? And then I get another piece of paper from a name I had 25 years ago, 30 years ago. It wasn't from the bank, but it was like a flyer for, fertilizer or something for like Kimlawn or something like that. Under that name. And I hadn't been that name in 25, 30 years. And I'm like, what in the hell? And the other one, of course, you're not going to get none because they already passed you on and fake whatever. So they're getting insurance off that, life insurance. Got that. But they can plug these names, all these names, and plugged in different crimes, saying you're doing different shit. And having you look the most. And thank God there's some people that's not under the influence of their spell work or their, whatever they're doing, you know, not getting paid off or whatever. But I actually started looking into this. It's like, how is the same social security number, how could they be passed on, doing, you know, collecting social security, crazy, so you're, you know, potentially locked up somewhere and you need a POA because you can't handle your own affairs. You're lady of the night, doing the most. Of course, you're on all the D-rugs and all that stuff too, you know, of course. You whack that out of your mind all the time. Can't take care of nothing, so they have to have somebody take care of your money. So what if they've been doing this for, I don't know, since you were 17 years old? Or maybe they just did this and started plugging your name out and been like, we'll do this, 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 and this. That makes you wonder, right? It's like, really? You did all that to me? When I did nothing to people. I did nothing. Nothing. I didn't steal from them. I didn't try to take anybody out. I didn't try to, you know, put crap on your food. I didn't send any bougie spell work towards you to make you, you know, go crazy or do the most. None of that shit. Transmute it. Return to sender. There's your two choices. You don't have to, you know, do the most, okay? But it's something to think about. Shits and giggles. Let's just split the decks. Shits and giggles. Pain. Resilience. That pretty much wraps that up as far as like they've caused you pain and you have resilience. But anyway, happy Saturday night, Sunday morning. This Lady T. But that gives you something to think about. You know? It's like, and that just, I mean, I've had knowledge kind of all this stuff, but I never like connected the dots. Like, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying, but just saying. 12:12 on the clock just now. Okay. Well, anyway, it's Miss Lady T. Like, share, subscribe. Just think about that for a minute. I mean, it's deep, it's intense, but just think about it. The air just kicked on. Confirmation. And there's other shit that happened today. I'm not even going to get into this because this was just so intense just now, and I'm like, there's a little bit more, but it's too personal, and I don't want to get into it. It's funny, though. I might share it eventually. It's funny. I didn't know I did that, but kind of like got you back a little bit. But it was... I'll tell you what it was. When I made this account at this bank that had sent me different letters and different last names. Again, I've only been one last name at this bank. I put down my ex as like a beneficiary because I thought we was going to get married. I never took his name off this beneficiary thing. It was just like, I'm like, the only time I used this bank account was to make my car payment. Well, since my car's been gone for, 7 months, I haven't really used that account. I'd put money on it occasionally, and I could transfer it to Cash App if I needed some, whatever. But it was kind of out of the way, and now since I don't have transportation, it was harder to get there. It was easier to just run down to the store and put it on Cash App. So eventually I didn't use this bank account anymore, and I got charged fees. $11 here, $10 there, below balance fee, another 10. It was like $45 negative. And it stayed that way for about 4 weeks. And then, eventually if you don't pay that, back, and at that time I had to buy food. I had to keep, my animals up. I had to keep me up. I had to keep internet, my cell phone, so I can keep in contact with the rest of the world, So I kind of let it go. And I'm like, well, when I get back on my feet, $45, And I know it can go to collections and all that, and I've had that kind of stuff happen, We all get, bad ways sometime. But I forgot I put down my exes, and we never was married, me and my ex, that I'm talking about, that I know of. Put his name down. My dog just looked up at me. And I'm sure this pissed him off, and I know he probably watches my shit. Sorry this happened. Never thought it was going to be in the negative, but I got a statement in the mail the other day, and it had the $45 in there negative, but it had his balance 0. and I think it was zeroed out. The account zeroed out. It didn't go to collections. It was zeroed out. I believe they went after him for that $45. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen, but if you've done all these crimes against me, I guess that's just a little part of karma that came back that you had to, And mind you, this person did have to, this person did help me out back in the day, but a lot of it was, I believe, inflicted just to screw with me, to not have income, so I'd have to reach out to this person. I'd have to reach out for him for resources or cigarettes or a ride to the store or, anything. I think that was the plan all along, was for me to just be, okay, I don't have a ride, I don't have money, I don't have a job. I have to reach out to my person that, please help me. And he's out doing the most that, I don't know, maybe he was, I don't know. Confirmation, the car outside. Not trying to put anything on his name, but I do apologize out there. I would have paid that. I didn't even think about that going to you, but when I got that statement, I'm like, how is it down to zero? I know I didn't pay it because I hadn't got back on my feet, and I'm like, oh shit, I probably went to him. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, just think about the crimes they could commit being just one person. Throat chakra, being one person but 5 different last names. Anyway, Miss Lady T, have a great Sunday morning. Hang in there. Pay attention to everything. I'll have to get on here and talk about something else that happened to me today. That was just when you start waking up and you start kind of, eventually when you're hanging around people and family and stuff, it'll start coming out that you're woke. You're not saying, hey, I'm woke. You're not, going to run up to him and say that, I don't think. But you start, like we was having conversations today. We talked about shoes. Looked on the TikTok shoe commercials. We talked about Band-Aids. Band-Aid commercial on the radio. Talked about, there was watermelon on the internet all day long. And this is as it was being spoke at the, my house I was working at, cleaning up stuff of theirs. And throat chakra again. And I was working along with 3 other people, and they couldn't believe, like, your phone must be hacked. I'm like, dear, my phone's probably been hacked for quite a long time. If you're not doing anything wrong, I do care, but I'm not out doing the most or making propositions or people proposition. You don't, if you ain't committing crimes, hack away, because there ain't nothing to fucking see. Nothing to fucking do. I mean, don't hack my phone, but I know they can get your IP address and say that you're sending messages to this one or that one, and I think that's been done, sending emails to people, being hostile and being weird and shit, because they have to, continue this narrative of these people being crazy or, doped out and all this stuff. They gotta act the part. So I'm sure they got people behind the scenes being this person, that person, being the crazy one, being the disabled one, being the, lady of the night one, being their original one, saying she just lost her shit and she's just reaching out to people being, the most, which I have not. I don't reach out to anybody. If you ever get anything reaching out for a reading or anything like that, it's not me. I don't reach out to shit. So, right here on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook, but my link's down below. My email's down there. If I get that email, I've never gotten an email from anything on YouTube ever, except being statistics or something like that. I mean, if I get a comment or something, but I'm pretty sure YouTube, they got people, maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying anything about YouTube because this is what I do. This is my purpose. So if I'm busting out my own shit, then so be it. And if I'm helping anybody else out there figure out their own shit, cool, because that's my purpose. I'm here to expose shit. So just saying, and I'm not saying names, so I'm not trying to get in trouble for, slander and none of the stuff they've said about me, but when when there's concrete evidence of shit, that, you don't let them run you over. Just, you're going to have, it is what it is, And I just got this download about a half hour ago, and I'm just like, Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but just putting the idea out there, just something to think about. And when you're watching your TV or your shows and stuff, see if it resonates with anything I've said. And I'll be doing the same, songs even. Because I think a lot of stuff has been done wrong to us that we just, have no knowledge of, and that sucks. Especially when we're good people, Try to do the best for people, But anyway, Miss Lady T, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Have a good night. Bye.